Let's start by brushing a thin coat of oil onto the container. The container I'm using is roughly 12 by 12 centimeters. This size will give me about 12 bite-sized cubes, perfect for my husband to finish in one bite and for my toddler to enjoy with a fork. I've added about 3/4 of a teaspoon of oil onto the container. Once that's done, we can set it aside and move on to making the pudding. You only need 4 ingredients for this healthy snack. First, I've added 75 grams of pre-cooked and mashed sweet potato or ube into a small pot. Next, I'm going to add in 60 grams of cornflour or cornstarch. The next ingredient we need is milk. I'm using full cream cow's milk today, but you can substitute it with other plant-based milk like almond and oat, and if you want extra rich, coconut milk would be a great choice. Now, to make it easy to mix, we'll start by adding just a little bit of the milk while whisking the sweet potato and cornflour together. Once that's well combined, we can gradually add a little bit more milk. It won't take long before the mixture is nicely incorporated, and then we can just pour everything in and start cooking the pudding over the stove. I really love this recipe because it's super healthy, quick, and easy. The best part, you can totally change it up with different ingredients. For example, instead of sweet potatoes, you can use other natural sweet fruits like dates, bananas, and mangoes. You can also swap out the milk for a variety of liquids depending on your preference. Once the pudding is cooked, feel free to add fun mix-ins like crushed nuts, dried fruit, and even chocolate chips. As for the coating on the milk pudding delight, the possibilities are endless. You can roll it in cocoa powder, crushed peanut powder, kinako or roasted soybean powder, or even Milo for a fun twist. This recipe is super versatile and so quick to make, I'm sure you'll love it. By the way, doesn't this snack remind you a bit of the Hawaiian hopia with a resemblance to the Aussie lamington? Now, let's move on to the stove. I'm cooking the mixture over medium-high heat to start, and it will begin to thicken in about 4 minutes. Make sure you keep whisking it while it cooks because the cornflour can settle at the bottom. If you don't keep stirring, you'll end up with a cornflour pancake at the bottom of the pot, and the mixture won't thicken properly. The mixture will start thickening pretty quickly, so make sure you keep an eye on it. By the way, I wanted to share this recipe because it's such a great snack for pregnant moms like I am and for toddlers. I've been trying to avoid giving my toddler anything with added sugar, so this is perfect for us. It's naturally sweet from the ingredients and there's no added sugar. If you want to turn this into more of a dessert, you can always drizzle some honey or maple syrup over it. That way, it's a versatile treat, perfect as both as a snack and a dessert for the whole family. Once you start feeling a little bit of resistance, like I'm feeling now, you can lower the heat to medium and keep stirring until it thickens to a custard-like consistency, just like this. Once the mixture has reached the right consistency, we can pour it into the container. Just make sure you've already applied a thin coat of oil to the container to prevent the pudding from sticking. Your silicone spatula will be your best friend for this task. It will help scrape everything clean from the pot so nothing goes to waste. Once that's done, make sure to cover the pudding with plastic wrap, pressing it firmly on top. This pudding will form a skin as it cools, and that can affect the texture. So make sure the wrap is in direct contact with the pudding to prevent that from happening. After that, you can either leave it on the counter to cool and firm up, or pop it in the fridge to chill for a cold treat. It's 5 degrees outside right now, so I'm just going to set it out on my deck and let it cool in my all-natural fridge. See you in a few hours. Once it's firmed up, prepare a tray and add about 3 tablespoons of desiccated coconut or whatever powder you'd like to use for coating your milk pudding delight. Then simply flip the container over and the pudding should come out nice and easily. I don't want to damage my tray with a sharp knife, so I'm using a butter knife instead, though it's not the best for presentation. I'd recommend using a proper knife for this part. Once you've got the pudding out, coat all sides of the cubes with the powder and voila! Milk pudding delight is ready to be served. I see.